Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to continue the video where I stopped at the ninth multiple choice question for the GAT Management Test. This is the accounting portion. I'm going to do the 10th one now. So the 10th MCQ is a contra assets account shows as a deduction from the related assets account in the balance sheet. What it would be is that the assets account is would be the accumulated depreciation, it would be the expense account, it would be the revenue account. So it would be the accumulated depreciation. So the contra assets account, it shows a deduction from the related assets account. So already they have mentioned the assets account, so you don't have to go for the assets account, but when it's telling you that it's a deduction, then you would have to talk about the depreciation. An expense account would show the expense of everything. You don't have to choose the expense account, and you don't even have to choose the revenue account. But if you read the question, it says that the deduction. So deduction is relevant to the depreciation. MCQ number 11. When all the items relating to revenue and expense have been recorded in the income statement, then the ultimate result is it A, the net income or the net loss, or is it the B, resource valuation, is it the C, claim valuation, or is it D, none? So they are telling us that when all the items relating to the revenue and expense have been recorded in the income sheet, the ultimate result would be, obviously the expense would tell you net income and net loss. If you relate it to the revenue, it will tell you the net income and the net loss. Moving on to the 12th MCQ, the accrued expenses which are shown in the worksheet and the balance sheet under the head of the. So this would be option number C, current liability. The current liability shows you the accrued expenses, and they are shown in the worksheet and the balance sheet under the current liability, not in the current expenses and not in the current equity and not in the current assets, but in the current liability. So the accrued expense, remember this thing, accrued expense are shown into the current liability. The MCQ number 13, direct expenses they are both carriage outward and they are wages. So these are direct expenses. They will not be the carriage inward, but the direct expenses would be the carriage outward and the wages. The 14th multiple choice question is liabilities are option A, equal to the sum of the assets plus owner's equity, option B, created when the stockholder contributed cash to company by stock exchanges, C, obligation to the entity of to the outsiders, obligation of the entity to the outsiders. So these are the liabilities. Liabilities, what are liabilities? They're obligations of the entity to the outsiders. And option D is all of the above are correct, which is incorrect. So only option C is correct, which is the obligation of the entity to the outsiders. Option number 15. When do revenues affect net income? When do revenues affect? Revenues would affect in the period during which they are earned. Okay, so the net income, the revenues would only affect the net income only in a period in which they are earned. And B option says that in the period in which the cash equivalent is collected. No, the revenues will not be affecting the net income because the cash equivalent is collected. So this is incorrect. Both A and B, option C is incorrect, and option D, neither A or neither B, is also incorrect. Option A would be correct. MCQ number 16 is which of the following statements is true? Option A, the balance sheet, the income statement, and the cash flow statements are totally linked. Yes, the two are linked. So option A is correct. B says that there are links only between the balance sheet and cash flow statement, which is wrong. Option C is there's no link, which is wrong. Option D is there are links only between the income statement and the cash flow statement, which is also incorrect because all the three, which is the income statement, the cash flow, and the balance sheet, they are all linked with one another. MCQ number 17. What is the first stage of accounting process? What is the final stage of the accounting process? So the final stage of accounting process is option B, financial statement. It's not the journal, it's not the ledger, it's not the trial balance. MCQ number 18. Which of the following does not describe accounting? It would be a language of business. No, it's not a language of business. Option B, it is useful for the decision making. No, option C, is an accounting is an end rather than a mean to an end. So it is an end rather than a mean to an end. And option D is used by business, government, and non-profit organization individuals. It's not completely correct, but option C, which is it is an end rather than a mean to an end. So it does not describe accounting. Okay, but the other things that are relevant to, yes, it's a language of business. It's useful for decision making. It is used by the business. They all are correct, but option